Do you not like what you see when you look in the mirror? You're overwhelmed with the thought of trying to find time in your busy schedule for the gym. You really want a physical transformation, but you just don't have the motivation to get started. Well, in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to get rid of the gut and find the motivation you've been lacking without adding anything to what you're already doing. So what do I even mean by this? Think about when they form a sculpture. Now, when you form a sculpture, let's use a marble sculpture. You don't go find pieces of marble and add it to the form of the marble. That's not how you make a statue. You make a statue by taking what's already there and getting rid of the excess. It's no different when we're talking about changing the results and get rid of the gut and having the motivation. Too many times what I'll see is people try to add stuff. Well, I'm gonna do this type of workout and I'm gonna do this type of diet. And instead of adding, here's what I encourage you to do. Just take away. And this is what this whole thing is formatted after. And here's what I can tell you. The difference between where you are currently and where you want to be, it's not so much of what you add, it's what you take away. Now, here's how this works. Because by the end of this video, I want you to be very clear how this whole process works. And I'm going to deliver on just what I said. You're not going to add anything. We're just going to take away. And there's 3 different categories we're going to take away from. And I'll get into that in a minute. But I first need you to really take a hard look at where you're at currently. You got to be honest with you. If you want this to work, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to look at where are you currently. So like look in the mirror, look at yourself, where are you physically at currently? You have to be honest with yourself. Otherwise, it doesn't work. You might as well stop right here. Then what I want you to do after you really realize where you are currently at, where do you want to be? Now I need you to imagine where you want to be without all the limiting beliefs. So I don't care if you failed in the past. I don't care if you've, tried working out and all of that is irrelevant. What I want you to look at is where do you want to be? If I was a magic genie, I snap my fingers and you could have whatever you want. What does that look like? What is the perfect version of you? What is the physical specimen that you've always wanted to be? What does that look like to you? I don't care what your spouse wants you to look like. None of that matters. Like, what is the perfect version of you? Like, if you're going to play this game, play it to win. If you're going to play this game, play it in a way where at the end of everything, you get the result you want. You get the outcome that you want. Because if you don't get the outcome you want, then what's the point of even playing that game? So now you understand where you are currently and you understand where you want to be. Now, the difference between where you are currently and where you want to be, well, there's a gap. There's a gap in between that we need to fill. So here's what you want to do. You need to really decide, all right, you need to think about this, sit down and really think, okay, I'm here currently, and this is where I want to be. The man that I want to be, the person that I want to be, what does this person do that I currently don't do? Where does this person go that I currently don't go? All right. And I need you to write all these things down. So you should have a long list of the things that is missing between where you are currently and the man or the person that you want to be. Now, there's 3 areas that we're going to focus on. Now, again, we're not adding anything new, nothing new. All right. The only thing that we're doing is taking away. And the 3 different categories we're going to work on. The first one is your mind. Now, I call this mental configuration. Now, Napoleon Hill says you either control your mind or your mind controls you. So I want you to think about when it comes to your mind, what are you currently watching? What are you currently listening to? And is what you're currently watching and listening to, is that in alignment with the person you want to be? Is that in alignment with the man you want to be? Chances are it's not. And whatever's not in alignment with the person you want to be, eliminate it. Drop it. Stop doing it. So let me give you an example of this. So maybe you're someone who, after a hard day's work, you come home, you sit on a couch and you relax and watch, you watch a couple episodes, right? You watch some TV. I want you to ask yourself a question. The person that you want to be, the person that you're trying to be, is that the kind of person that sits down and watches 2 to 3 hours of TV? Chances are the answer to that is no. So remember, we're cutting anything that that person wouldn't do out. Now, when you cut it, obviously you're going to have extra time. Now, with that extra time, you can do whatever you choose. Don't add anything new that you've never done before, but add something, right? Or you can sit there and look at the wall, and that's not going to make sense. But add something that you would have done, or maybe you do, you just don't do it as much. And then whatever you're going to fill in that gap, because you got to fill your time with something, you then have to ask that same question. Is this an activity that's going to take me towards that person that I want to be? Is this an activity that that person that I would want to be is going to do? And if it's not, you can't use that. You have to fill the gap in with something else. And you continue to fill that gap in with something that that person would do in terms of your mindset, right? In terms of what you think. Because again, garbage in, garbage out. So it could be, I don't know, reading a book. It could be listening to gospel music. I don't know what it is for you, but just make sure it's in alignment with the person or the man that you want to be. The second thing is your body. Physical reconstruction is what I refer to this in my coaching program. And you have to stop for a minute and think, what is the main purpose of your body? Well, the main purpose of your body is to maintain homeostasis. And homeostasis is just a big fancy word for maintaining everything internally, stabilizing it, and at the same time being able to adjust for anything that's happening externally, right? So if your body's functioning like it's supposed to, it's handling everything internally, and then anything externally that's happening, it can adjust to it. Well, if you don't have a healthy body, your body can't do that. It can't perform that function. So this is where we're gonna focus on your body. So again, so anything that has to do with your body, you have to ask yourself, okay, is this person that I would want to be, this person that I'm working on becoming, how would they handle and treat their body? What would they do with their body? And it could be something as simple as maybe you go to the grocery store and you're the type of person, I hope you're not this type of person, but maybe you are, and that's okay. No judgment here. Maybe you're that type of person that drives around for 5 minutes looking for a parking spot. Okay, well, with this person over here, would they drive around for 5 minutes looking for the closest parking spot, or would they just park in the back and just walk a couple extra steps? You know, is this person that you want to be? Would this be the type of person that instead of maybe taking the elevator, they decide they're just going to take the steps, right? There's a long line at the elevator. So instead of waiting in a long line, they just choose to maybe take the steps instead. So again, you're just going to start eliminating the things that this person wouldn't do. And the third thing is diet, which again, in my coaching program, we call this energy calibration. And again, we're not adding anything to your diet. I don't want you to add anything. Matter of fact, for this one, you're gonna use the 80-15-5 rule. I love the 80-15-5 rule. This is gonna get you exactly where you need to be. You're not gonna have to do some crazy off the wall type of diet. So what is the 80-15-5 rule? So we all know what's good for us and what's not so good for us. So what you're gonna do is 80% of the food that you consume, again, you're not adding anything new, just eat what you normally would eat, but 80% of it is gonna be healthy options. So whatever healthy options you eat, and we know what's healthy. Like there's no one that's gonna argue, is broccoli healthy or not? Like no one on planet Earth is gonna argue that, right? So there's certain foods no one's gonna argue about they're healthy. 80% of what you eat falls into that category. 15% of the food you eat falls into the depends who you ask category, right? So 15% of the food you consume just goes into the depends on who you ask, right? So maybe if you asked the personal trainer over here or the fitness guru or the person that never falls off, they'd be like, that's definitely not healthy. But if you ask this person over here, maybe they'd say healthy. Though, like we all know those types of things. Well, 50% of the food you consume falls into that category. And then 5%, because you still want to have fun, you still want to enjoy life. You don't want to just, here's what I found. When you tell yourself you can't have something, that's when you want it even more, right? That's when you want it even more. So 5% of what you consume 5% is just gonna be food that's just flat out not good for you. I mean, it tastes magically delicious, but the food is just flat out, it's just not good for you. So as far as this, you'll use the 80-15-5 rule. Now follow this, right? Because remember, I said it's gonna not only get rid of the gut, which it will, right? It's gonna set you on the right path, but here's what it does. Here's what this does more than anything. It sets you up with wins. And the more wins you get, the more you enjoy playing the game. Nobody likes playing a game where they're not winning. Nobody likes playing a game where they're not having fun. So the more wins you can stack back to back to back, the more motivated you're gonna be to continue on. The more motivated you're gonna be when you wake up in the morning attacking your day, going after what you want, because you know you're working towards the person you want to be. You have a mission, you have a target, you have a goal, you have something that you're going after every single day. So if you got some value in this video, I'm going to go ahead and drop this one, which I think you'll like as well. I'll see you on the next one.